All right, YouTube, I'm back with the 71 Cutlass. As you can see, the trunk pan is in there. It's not all the way welded or nothing like that, but it's in there. So I went back and forth with myself about making this video because I know somebody is gonna be like, oh my God, and this, that, and the third. But I'm making the video because somebody else might run into this problem. So if you watch the other videos, you know that this car is a nightmare. Started as a simple trunk pan replacement, got to more and more cutting into it, more and more rust, more and more previous repairs that were half-assed, all of that. So try to slide the trunk pan in. As I mentioned before, cut all of this out. The trunk pan should have slid right in. Well, in order to slide the trunk pan right here, the frame angles up in the back. So it comes back and angles up. You couldn't get the trunk pan in because it's hitting the frame. So logically, you undo the body mounts, jack the body up some, slide the trunk pan in, and set the body back down. Well, all of the body mounts in the front floor area, all of the bolts was spinning. So it's just rusty. It's, you know, it's just a nightmare. So couldn't get them body bolts to come out. Okay, so now, second thing I could have did, I could have cut this out right here, along here. Pulled this out, wouldn't have been able to slide the trunk pan in. Now you gotta think, these quarters have already been previously half-assed repaired. They're flimsy, they're rusty. So this is what's holding each side of this quarter, is the only thing holding these quarters together right now besides the back deck. So all of this area here, if I cut this piece out here, this whole area here is just gonna sway in the wind. So what I opted to do was cut the frame. So you see, this is the rear section of the frame. So if you notice, if I can hold it up, turn the camera. If you see, that's straight. You see how it angles up like that. So I cut the rear section of the frame. You can see that I zigzagged my cut, so when I weld it back in, it'll be a strong weld. Also, I'm going to box it in along that area right there after I weld the frame all the way around. Then I'm gonna box it in and weld that all the way around. So I know somebody's gonna say, oh my God, this, that, and the third. But if you follow me, you follow my channel, you've seen the frames that I've repaired in the past, and I felt more, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfortable cutting the frame rather than cutting this section of the rear panel out and letting these quarters just possibly bow, warp, whatever, and not being able to get everything lined back up properly with the trunk able to open and close. I'm not a body man. I don't do body work. I only do rust repair, weld, and all of that. So I felt more comfortable cutting this frame out and knowing that I can weld this frame back in and it will be twice as strong as it was before I cut it. So for everybody who's saying, you know, oh my God, this, that, and the third, just know that, you know, this frame will be welded back in. Everything will be beveled, welded. Then, like I said, I'm gonna box it in, all of that, so it'll be perfectly fine. The ass end of the frame, this section of the frame, bears no load or anything like that as far as strength and support. Its only job is to bolt these back two body bolts up. But yeah, other than that, okay, moving on. These are called trunk pan extensions or trunk pan drops. They go on each side of the trunk here and here. These came with the car. When the guy bought the car, these were in the car along with the 3-piece floor pan that was in the trunk of this car, if you remember from the previous videos. Upon further inspection, trying to fit these up, these don't even go to this car. or if they do go to this car, they're for a different year Cutlass. So this side is the passenger side. This side is too short. This side is the driver's side. You see that I have it in there. This side was too long. So what I did was I cut this one. I cut about approximately, if the camera focus, you can see right there, I cut it. I cut about 3 inches out of this one, length, you know, lengthwise. I got it up in there, put all my clamps on, made sure it lined up. After I took the amount out, I had to cut it a few times to get the right amount I wanted. Got it all in there. You can see this is how it welds in. It covers this area here, comes down, goes underneath the floor pan there. So obviously I had to, you know, beat this metal, you know, fill some gaps up. There's still a gap right here. I'm gonna cut a little piece of metal, put in there, fill that gap up. You can see it's solid welded all the way along the bottom, spot welded all the way along the edge. I had the edge welded in a couple spots here because it wanted to blow through with the metal being thin. It's welded all the way up. I made me a patch panel back there. If you guys can see, I made a patch panel back there to fill up that little rust hole. Let me get up under here so you can see a little better. Got my flashlight. Okay, you can see where I cut the frame here. Here's where I cut the frame. The frame will get welded back on. Like I said, that area will get boxed in. Moving over to this side. This side, I still haven't made my little patch panel in that area there where you see the rust from right, let me move my finger, right there over. There's gonna have to be a patch panel made right there to fill that in. I haven't made this side yet because like I said, this passenger side trunk pan drop or trunk pan extension is too short. So I'm gonna have to cut it, put one side in, put the other side in, and make me a filler piece to fill in the middle. Okay, what else? I'm looking for gas tank straps. This guy does not have gas tank straps. I do have a gas tank, no gas tank straps. So hopefully Jegs or somebody like that has those. Looking on the inside, you see, like I explained before, what I did with the lower, cut the lower section of the inner fender well out, overlapped it, welded it all the way, plug welded it. It's gonna be all seam sealed on both sides, welded, seam sealed. Grind all my welds down, seam seal it, undercoat it. Same thing on this side. Them little holes you see right there is where I had zip screws in it. This side didn't want to line up as well as the other side. Turn the light around so you can see. I'll plug weld all of them little holes up. That's nothing. The fitment up front is good. You see there's a gap here. You see there's a gap here, but I'm gonna have to go on the other side, the inner, and the wheel well, beat that over, possibly put some zip screws in it and plug weld it all the way around because that's how it is from the factory. It's not solid welded around, it's plug welded. Maybe 10 to 15 spot / plug welds going around there. Both sides it's like that. This side has a little tighter fit. As you can see, once all of that is, you know, that area is spot welded, plug welded, then I will seam seal the whole gap, undercoat both sides. Then my rear seat brace will get welded back in, and this will be done. I was supposed to put new body mount bushings on this car, but like I said, the body mount bushings, turn the phone around, all of the bolts in the front, the floorboard area are just spinning. So I spoke to the customer about it, and like I previously said, he had a set budget in mind. We're already, you know, way past the budget on just time, labor, materials, everything. So I'm trying to get this done. Now, you see this gap here. When you order this trunk pan, and I can't think of the name of the place. I ordered it from. It's in Illinois. I said it in the last video. Parts Group. The Parts Group is where I ordered this trunk pan from. It says it fits a number of vehicles and a number of years. So it fits a Cutlass, a Chevelle, and I want to say something else like a Pontiac Le Mans or something. But they said this rear section here has to be cut and fitted because the rear section of each car is different. So let me turn the phone, try to focus on it. You see it dips down a little bit right here. My phone is acting crazy, I'm sorry you guys, but it dips down a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut me a little slit here, cut me a little slit on this side here, and I'm gonna take my floor jack, I'm gonna jack that up, and I'm gonna fill that little gap in on each side so that that's perfectly flat, and it spot welds. It spot welds along this seam all the way around over there. Then once I get it all, the gap closed up, everything, and like I said, I'm gonna cut a little slit here and be able to bend this up to close this gap. Once I plug weld everything, fill my little gap up, all of that'll get seam sealed like it was from the factory. You can see a little bit of the old seam sealer, all of that'll get re-seam sealed. All of my welds will be covered in seam sealer. I'll grind them down a little bit. All the welds will get covered in seam sealer and then undercoating. And that's about it on this YouTube. This car, I'm just ready for this car to go, honestly. I don't like doing half-ass work. I promise you, this is not my style. It's not what I want my name on. But in this situation, this is what the customer could afford. This is what he wanted. So this is what I have to do. I've already done a lot of extra work for free that I, wasn't in the budget, but oh well, that's neither here nor there. Moving on, box Chevy, LS swap. Got the motor mounts welded in there. Got the engine bay cleaned up. Just a rattle can paint job just to make it look, spruce it up a little bit. 5.3. Got the block painted, cleaned up. New timing chain, gaskets. The tranny was off. It's got a new rear main seal gaskets. Got to get some of these broken head bolts out, weld the things to them, pull the head bolts out, but all of that'll get done. The tranny was painted black. It's gonna get put in tomorrow, dropped in tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, got the wiring harness ran. He ran the wiring harness through the firewall. You can see it's coming up through the hole in the firewall. That's the new wiring harness for the LS. Take you guys in here and show you the Blazer real quick. I'm trying to keep this video kind of short, but the Blazer is done. It goes to the exhaust shop on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, and we're in Ohio and it's actually snowing. Let me hit these lights real quick. It was just 65, 70 degrees a few days ago. Now there's actually snow outside. Here is the two-door Blazer. You see it. Posted it before in the other videos. LS swap 5.3 in there. 5.3 is in there. Everything is buttoned up. The truck runs. He has to get a better battery. That's an old junk Optima red top. Got to jump it every time, but it is what it is. He's getting a new battery, computer, fuse block, all of that stuff is in there. Try to hide the wires, best, wire loom, everything hid the best we could. Like I said, the truck runs. Oh yeah, it's got to have a mass airflow. It's got to have a mass airflow on there. It runs, but it runs rich, real rich, because it doesn't have a mass airflow. So we're going to try to curve this around over there with the air filter and the mass airflow in that area, make a little bracket to hold it up over there because he still has to put his battery here. But it has a date. I think it's Thursday morning for the exhaust shop, so it'll get moved out of here, go to the exhaust shop, get all brand new exhaust ran with the O2 sensors in it. He's using the factory manifolds, so they're just gonna make exhaust for the factory manifolds back. with the O2 sensor bungs in there. So it'll be out of here next week. Got the Caprice back. The Caprice came back. Took it to our buddy. He ran all new AC lines, everything. Got the AC working. The AC blows ice cold. Everything is good with the Caprice, but it's going to the dyno. When the guy tuned the motor on the dyno stand, the engine dyno, he tuned the motor. The motor runs good. The tranny was rebuilt, 700R4 tranny. It was rebuilt, some goodies added to it. Everything needs to be synced to these rims. When he drives the car, it shifts funny, he says, from first to second. Hard shifts. He says it doesn't have a shift kit in it. I don't know. I don't know who built the tranny, whatever, but we're going to take it to a performance shop that has a dyno. They're going to put it on the dyno, tune the Holley Terminator X on the dyno so that he has the proper tune for those big rims. Cutlass motor is almost ready to get dropped in. Another LS motor about to get cleaned up and painted for a, I want to say that LS motor is going in a Chevy truck of some sort that's outside. But yeah, YouTube, cut this video off. Hope everybody appreciates the video. Like I said, I know somebody is gonna say, oh my God, and you know, you should have did that, this, that, and the third. But I wanted to share this video with you guys because when you're dealing with these old cars, you truthfully, honestly, really never know what's gonna happen. And you have to be prepared for this kind of stuff. Luckily, I know how to weld. Luckily, I know how to fabricate. And the situations that happen, I could not order. Somebody's gonna say, oh, well, why didn't you just order new of these trunk extensions? Yeah, I tried to order new ones and they're 6 to 8 weeks away delivery time. The customer said, absolutely not. I need this car. It's got to go to the paint shop, this, that, and third. I explained to him, okay, this is what I can do. No problem, do it. And that's what I did. So there you have it, YouTube. I hope somebody, you know, enjoys the video. Somebody learns something. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you for watching.